Hello, everyone. Welcome to Word Funk. I'm Leon Thomas, and I'm joined by Austin Yursky and Johnny Maloney. Guys, how are you feeling this week?
I'm mystified, honestly.
Oh, no. We can't bring this mystification onto the podcast and pollute our podcast energy. Please, dispel the mystification, Johnny.
I just, Leon was eating a candy, and he refuses to tell.
We can't go into this because we know there's no prize at the end of this tunnel. We've been told.
There really isn't. There isn't.
Unless it was a Kinder Egg.
It's definitely not.
If it was a Kinder Egg, there is a prize at the end of this tunnel.
Hurry, Leon, give me the old dick twist so we can get out of this.
I'm sorry, but dicks have been twisted, and now it's over. So I have very little to talk about this week because, I mean, stuff happened, but not enough that's interesting for podcasting purposes. So, but I know Austin has like a lot of stuff.
Oh, I'm horny for stuff this week, boys.
I have some stuff too, but I mean, Austin is raring to go. I can sense his boner from here, so please.
It's not just. It's not just stuff. It's stuff for you guys.
Well,
okay.
I mean, that's my favorite kind of stuff.
Yeah, I got you guys a present. Are you ready to open it?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
All right, gotta get in the wrapping paper. Do some Foley work here. That's me unwrapping your present. You hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look what I got you. I watched the first 5 episodes of Star Trek The Next Generation, Star Trek Voyager, and Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Why would you just watch the first 5 episodes of all 3 of them instead of just keep going?
Because there's 400 episodes of each, and so if I'm going to commit, I need to know which one I like.
Right, I understand,
yeah, but they're all
first
good.
season. The thing is, the first season of Deep Space Nine and the first season of TNG are not reflective of what the rest of the series is like.
That's not my fault. They should have made a better show.
I understand,
Well,
but
Austin,
it was a
maybe
different,
you should have been
time.
born earlier.
It was a different time, Austin. They didn't like have like the entire series plan like they do stuff that happens now. It's you know.
It appears
like,
they had
right.
nothing planned, but let's get in here because I know you guys are big Star Trek fans and you've harangued me on many occasions to watch it. I watched the movies and I watched the first 2 seasons of the original series. So I have spent dozens of hours on Star Trek, but I'm trying to do this because I love you guys and I want to share your interests.
Cool.
So
I'm not playing Magic the Gathering.
yeah, no, I've given up. None of you will ever watch Gundam. None of you will ever play
Hey,
Magic. Yeah.
Austin, Austin,
Yeah.
cool your jets.
My jets are cool.
I have played a shit ton of Magic in my time,
That's true.
right? And
Yep.
also, I have watched some Gundam.
Aw.
I'm really excited for the new Magic the Gathering cards because I hear they're going to be bigger.
That would be very funny.
Look, Leon, if you had just played, like, Commander, then you'd have, like, really big cards, okay?
the prepackaged commander decks actually do come with big cards. That's a good joke, Johnny.
Thank you. Just for, like, you know, those 7 people who are listening.
Yeah. For all you big fans of the prepackaged commander decks.
Yeah. Just, you know,
All right.
I'm your guy right here.
This has been really exciting.
It's
so tell me more
extremely
about
exciting.
Star Trek.
Okay, so like I said, you're like, oh, why don't you just watch all of it? It's literally thousands of hours.
I know.
Yeah,
So
but what else are you doing with your time?
Fuck off. I'm doing so much. I'm a very busy person. I have a very successful podcast, and I'm also going to school, and people like me, and gosh darn it, I'm nice. I don't remember how that speech from the SNL skit went.
It's pretty close.
Yeah. Here's the thing. When I was trying to decide which one I would commit to watching, my main criteria was the cast, because I'm going to be stuck with these people for a long time. And
Well,
so I wanted to
we all know who wins that one, right?
Well, I'm curious. Who do you got? Who's your favorite casts of these 3 shows?
The cast of Deep Space Nine is by far the best. They actually grow and change over the course of 7 seasons. They have interpersonal relationships that also change and develop, and all kinds of other things, and romance, and all manner of stuff.
No, Leon, you see, you're talking about the characters?
Yeah, that's what he said.
No, he said the cast.
I'm so, oh, okay, still.
The cast, by
Still.
far, the best cast is TNG.
That is definitely not true in terms of acting.
It is super true.
This is spicy
No.
already.
I'm sorry, but like, there's like a few good actors in TNG.
Fucking wrecked.
The rest are like passable. Like, I love Riker. I love Riker so much. He's like one of my favorite characters in all of Star Trek. Jonathan Frakes is fine. Like, he is an okay actor. And like basically his performances, like I rewatched the TNG episode recently. It's I think it was called State of Mind, where it's like Jonathan Frakes at his like strongest, where like he has to play like someone who's going insane.
Oh, that's the one where he has the play where he's insane, but then also
right.
Yeah, that's a great episode.
That's a great episode with an okay actor. He's okay. He's fine. Marita Sirtis, all that. There's no bad acting in Deep Space Nine. It's very, very good. It's like solid all the way through. I'll take Nana Visitor over almost anyone, hands down. Ditto for Avery Brooks, Andrew Robinson, all of them. They're all very, very good. There's no Star Trek acting in Deep Space Nine, except for like moments with Terry Farrell.
Yes, there is. There's so much Star Trek acting.
No, what I mean is there's
Come on,
no...
do you remember the episode where, like, in the middle of a war, a Vulcan captain shows up and is like, I learned to play baseball. And Avery Brooks is like, well, you know what? Time to play baseball.
That's a Star Trek plot. The acting in the episode was fine. In fact, it was quite good. I'm sorry, we're steering so far away from Austin's original premise. Tell me about what you thought of these shows, Austin.
No, this is exactly why I did this. I wanted to get this kind of discussion going, because I think it's fascinating the way these, it's all like the same franchise, but they're also very different. So I think, well, first of all, I said my experiment was to watch 5 episodes of each. I watched 5 of each, and then I kept watching The Next Generation. I'm actually 10 episodes deep now, so I think that's the one that caught me.
I wonder why.
Why do you think it is?
Because the cast is fucking magnificent.
I think it has the highest density of characters I'm interested in. I really like Geordi. I really like Data. I really like both Picard and Riker. You're
gonna be really disappointed with Geordi.
Oh no!
No, you're not. No, you are not, Leon.
He is not. He is not a particularly interesting character.
But he is.
No,
they don't go places where they could have. But he is
right, exactly. You can't be a good character in theory. We're talking about praxis, okay?
Also, I really like Worf. I know a lot of these characters.
Worf's cool.
I know a lot of these.
Worf's cool, but he's also in Deep Space Nine, so that's a crossover.
Yeah,
character.
Only after.
Data is very good. The Captain Picard is very good. Like, obviously.
Yeah, they're all very good, and even the ones who aren't particularly deep, like I think some of the women characters are getting pretty short shrift. Like I don't know that.
They do it first.
Get ready.
Yeah. No, hey, come on. Uh-oh. Dr. Crusher gets some really good episodes.
Oh, I love Dr. Crusher. I'm just saying, get ready for some others.
Yeah, I've heard some
other shit. Yeah, there's some other shit.
There are some really 90s kind of rapey episodes.
I think the episode I'm on, I saw the description and it was like, or no, I was looking through the Netflix ones, and it was the season 2 episode. I saw the description was like, Troy is impregnated by an alien, and I was like, uh-oh.
Yep.
Yeah. Or Troy gets invaded by like an alien that wants to fuck. Or
come on,
everyone's
so horny. All of these shows, everyone is horned 24/7. There's so many episodes where the plot is everyone's horny. What's happening?
Look, Austin, that's why it's one of the most salient depictions of the future. Because we're all horny.
There's just like, there's a plague that makes everyone horny, and there's a planet where everyone's horny, and the classic Spock is so horny that he almost dies.
Yeah, probably my favorite comedy line from The Next Generation is, I guess I'm spoiling it, but here it goes. Like, deep into like the later seasons, a woman is brought on board the ship whose sole purpose is to like bond and mate with someone, and she has like this sort of ability to get under your skin. she briefly she talks to Riker for like 10 seconds, and then immediately after she walks away, Riker hits his comm badge and he says, "If anyone wants me, I'll be on holodeck 3."
Nice.
I like the one with the androgyne people.
Oh, that's a controversial episode because of how badly it aged.
Yeah,
but I respect the effort.
Absolutely. I mean, for a '90s show, that was way ahead of its curve.
I was going to say that for the Next Generation, there is maybe a little bit of a cheat here because I've seen the movies which feature these casts, so I kind of know the characters. They don't go deep in any of the movies, obviously, but I knew them already, so it felt like more familiar. And also just pop culture osmosis. Like, I had never seen like Will Wheaton on camera before until like last week, but I knew immediately from just like pop culture, like, oh, this is the annoying kid everyone hates.
Wesley.
Yeah. And
I guess you've never seen Stand By Me then.
I have. I just didn't remember he was in it.
There you go.
It's been a while since I've seen that.
He was in like two other things that people know him from. That's pretty much it. But anyway.
But yeah, the first 2 episodes where Wesley Crusher plays an important role is 1, he gets infected by a virus, which makes him a brat, and then 2, a super alien tells him he's the chosen one. So like right out the gate, he's insufferable.
Yeah,
and it's like, maybe the character could have been salvaged, but it was just it leaves such a strong impression on you that you just don't like him right up front. And it's like, well, I guess I wanted to be cool and edgy, be like, actually, I don't think he's that bad, but it's gonna be hard to keep that opinion.
I mean, without going into spoilers, later on he becomes, once he's like an actual adult, he's okay.
Okay.
But like the early seasons with Wesley Crusher, they're just as bad as people say.
Yeah. And that largely lies on Roddenberry's head, where he wanted to have he was like, wow, Star Trek is popular with kids, so you know what kids want to see? Other kids that are better than them.
Yeah, the old give Batman a young ward technique.
Yeah, total bullshit. But I'm glad you agree with me, Austin.
Well, before I move on to the other shows I watch, because I do want to compare and contrast a little bit, I have to say, as much as The Next Generation was the one that caught my interest the most, it does have the most despicable episode I've ever seen of any television show, maybe ever.
Not surprising.
Which one?
It was called Code of Honor.
Yup. I knew which one you were going to say before you said it, and then you said the first word. Okay, yeah, it is. I think it's the worst Star Trek episode ever.
It's so inhumanly bad that I actually went and looked up why, and I'll let you finish because I kind of interrupted you there. But there's like a whole backstory of why it's as bad, which is wild.
I don't know. I won't even remember all the details. I do know that one thing, that the writer of that episode never did any more Star Trek.
All right, can we lay down a spoiler right here? What the episode is about?
Yeah, I mean this show's 30 fucking years old.
I mean, yeah, for fuck's sakes, don't be like Austin. Watch Star Trek and identify one of the most horrible pieces of television you've ever seen in your entire life.
Also, it's not like it plays into any myth arcs or anything.
No,
no. There isn't a lot of episodes of Star Trek: The Next Generation that have any consequences to future episodes, which is why it's not as interesting to me. So, even though I do love that show.
So, basically, the Enterprise goes to this planet, right?
I love that you know this off the top of your head. God.
And Tasha Yar, the security chief, I don't even know how to word this properly.
All right, I'm sorry, I'm stepping in.
Yeah.
Okay. The Starship Enterprise encounters the planet of the black people.
They do. They're like, there's this alien. They have the cure for our plague. I was like, ooh, cool. What kind of aliens are in to get this week? Oh, they're just black people. Okay.
right. Yeah. They encounter the planet of the black people. The head black person finds Tasha Yar attractive and kidnaps her in hopes of forcing her into a romantic / sexual relationship. It's basically it's exactly what it sounds like.
Tasha Yar, for the audience who hasn't seen the show, a white woman, to be clear.
Yeah. White woman, very cool character. She we actually talked about this episode on this podcast before. But
I totally blanked it out because I had no reference.
We absolutely have. But anyway, they kidnap her, and Captain Picard says, we should rescue Tasha, but then again, the Prime Directive. I mean, this is like their world, and like, look, the Prime Directive is important. It is not relevant here.
I was so confused. I thought maybe I misunderstood the Prime Directive because I thought it was you're not allowed to use your super technology on undeveloped cultures, but then like this culture has the super vaccine you need, so like they're pretty advanced. What's going on?
Austin, you misunderstand the Prime Directive in the sense that the Prime Directive is really only a writer's tool.
I'm getting
it
that.
It doesn't
yeah.
actually exist as a thing.
Yeah. It's not very good, but the point is, Captain Picard hems and haws about whether or not he should save his crew member from a lifetime of rape, and he's like, I don't know. Here's the thing: there's
never mind like Tasha's backstory, which is like,
I'm sorry.
They say the word rape way more in this show than I thought. It comes up a lot.
Yeah. I'm sorry to be so cavalier about the way I say this, but frankly, like we don't learn a lot about Tasha Yar up until this episode, except two things. One is that she's the security chief, and the second thing, she hates rapists. She like that was her whole backstory. She escaped the rape gangs and became a Starfleet
on
officer.
the rape planet in the rape colony.
Yeah, so these guys capture her, and then as the Enterprise people decide, like, oh, maybe we should actually do something about it, she has a talk with some of them, and she says, well, of course I'm kind of flattered.
Yeah, that's
like, fuck you, Star Trek writer who did this, whose name I can't remember. That is a horrible thing. That is a horrible thing to put out there into the world. Yeah. No, she doesn't. It is so ridiculous.
Man,
and then
I'm kind of flattered that somebody wants to rape me for my entire life.
That was the planet of the black people of white lady kidnappers is bad enough, and then they're like, well, you kind of wanted it, right? I was like, I'm not gonna watch any more of this.
Well, Austin, I mean, just look how she dressed, right?
Fuck off with all of that. That's why I said this episode is so bad. I actually looked it up. Apparently, the director was extremely racist. Like, not like, oh, he's an old guy from a different generation. He just doesn't understand. No, like, so actively racist, they fired him, and he was replaced by someone who had never directed anything in his life for like the end of the shoot, which is why the fight scene at the end is choreographed like a middle school play. Not that the combat is great in the other episodes, but it's especially bad here. Like, this was a script which was written as kind of like a Japanese historical allegory. We've got all their talk of codes of honor, you know, but the guy directing it saw the script and was like, black people, right? Because they kidnap women, right? And that's just like, it's monstrous. I couldn't even believe what I was reading.
TNG is my favorite of all the Star Treks, but I will not defend that episode. I will fucking go to my grave and say that's some bullshit right there.
And everyone knows, right? Like, when I was doing my research, like, every single cast member has said on record at some point that episode is garbage. So it's not like I've uncovered a secret truth. This is like well-trodden ground. But for me, it was fresh and horrible.
I get the feeling that this is one of the reasons why Denise Crosby was not keen on staying for all 7 seasons. Maybe
a lot of people weren't keen on staying. I mean, we have to remember at this point in time that Star Trek was still a niche thing. It wasn't like total primetime TV.
I know. It was a different time. But
even Patrick Stewart has gone on record and said, once I got the role, it was like,
Yeah, I read about that. Like, apparently Roddenberry didn't want him because he thought he was like too old and too bald, and that's why they got like Riker to be the hot, Kirk-esque person to play that role and stuff. It's really interesting reading about the production history. I also read something we'll talk about when we get to Voyager. Let's just get there right now because the Voyager cast is interesting to me. I really like Kate Mulgrew, obviously. My introduction to her was Orange is the New Black, but she is wonderful. I really like the Doctor, the hologram Doctor. He's very likable.
Robert Picardo is one of the best characters I think that Star Trek has ever spawned.
He's very cool. Also Tuvok, who is for those who don't know, a Vulcan like Spock from the original, but he's played by an African American actor, which is really cool. I have mixed feelings about I have mixed feelings about the comic relief character Neelix, but
you're either going to find him adorable and endearing, or you're just gonna hate him.
I don't think he's a love it or hate it. I think he's okay. Like I'm going back.
That's new.
Early season
I never hear
Neelix, is divisive, but if you let him grow on you, it works.
I see what they're going for, and it doesn't always succeed, but I get it. And then the rest of the cast is just okay. I don't really care about the white guy, Paris.
Oh, really? All right. I mean, that's probably one of the most beloved Star Trek Voyager characters. Maybe he'll grow on you, or maybe you just won't watch the show.
Yeah. Tom Paris grows on you. He starts as being this kind of I'm a renegade. I'm a maverick. But then you get his fucking Proton episodes, and
oh sure,
So he becomes something.
Yeah. For me, he's just the white guy.
He's the white guy.
You'll see.
I mean, he is.
You'll see.
He is though.
And then there's the Native American character Chakotay, who something was off about that, and I looked up. Apparently, the Native American advisor they hired to advise them on those matters was a fraud who didn't know anything.
Oh.
And so they come out of the gate pretty strong, like episode 3 or 4, where he's like, "Ooh, your spirit animal. Let me take you on a vision quest." And I was like, this feels weird. I don't know what something about this doesn't feel right. And I looked it up and I was like, "Oh, because it's all bullshit."
Yeah.
So I don't know if that character gets better or anything. Right now, I'm not feeling it.
He's a strong actor. Robert Beltran is a strong actor, and he does well in certain scenes. But the whole Native American thing fizzles.
I feel like they're trying to be inclusive, but it's mid-90s inclusive.
Yeah. Star Trek is always trying, but it's always then you look back 20 years and you're like, they could have done better, but then again, for the time, this was special.
And then the only other person I can remember is the half Klingon lady, B'Elanna, who's okay. Yeah. She's okay. I don't have any strong feelings there.
She grows. She gets some I like B'Elanna.
So yeah, I think Voyager is an interesting show. It's the only one where they actually feel like they're in danger every episode because they can't just go back to Starfleet and be like, "Help." So that gives it a kind of a unique flavor, but it's mostly the same kind of every episode we find a thing and then it looks bad, but then it's not. So it's not actually in practice that much different.
Okay.
So it's okay. It didn't grab me as much as Next Generation. And then you Deep Space Nine, which is the one with actual long-term story consequences, I hear, which is my shit, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, not really in the first season. That's the problem.
Defend it some more, please, Leon.
That's the problem with getting into Deep Space Nine is that the first season is not reflective of the rest of it. But go ahead, tell me.
That's the story about every Star Trek show.
Yeah.
But I see them setting up stuff like the wormhole is an important strategic location, and then there's the evil Cardassians and the Bajor who have this conflict, and I'm sure that's going to develop. There are seeds. It's not just a status quo show, so I can see. But as far as the cast goes, I love Odo, the shapeshifter, kind of this no nonsense security dude. I love Quark, the offensive, almost anti-Semitic caricature guy. We need to talk about that. We'll get back to it.
Look. We all kind of I understand.
It's weird watching.
I made a joke a bunch of months ago. About how humanity likes to think that we're the Federation, but really deep down, I think that we're the Ferengi.
I know. Yeah, that's in Next Generation when you first meet the Ferengi. There's this deliberate parallel, or they are mercantilists who are stuck in what Earth culture called capitalism, and there's almost animalistic, and all the Ferengi are leering at the camera and licking their lips and jumping around like apes. And I was like, all right, I just watched an episode of Deep Space Nine where they're kind of just people. What happened between these two?
everyone on Deep Space Nine is just kind of people.
Yeah.
They're more layered.
But yeah, the Ferengi are like the capitalist species, but in practice, just like in Phantom Menace, when was it there's that creature with the wings, Quado, is that what it was?
Yeah.
He's
a droidarian. Let's be
when you make Alien, whose main characteristic is capitalist, it often comes off as anti-Semitic, and also both species have pronounced noses. They just do.
Look, we need to stop.
Do you not? I mean, I'm not the first one.
No,
who brought this up.
I know, but this is going to. I just know someone's going to listen to this and take it out of context.
No, they're not. Listen, it's obviously a gross implication if it was intended. I don't think it was, and I actually like Quark. He's a slimy, charismatic.
He's
guy.
awesome. Yeah.
There's also a character who is. It seems to be from an established. I haven't seen the episode where she's introduced, but it's like an alien who switches bodies, and it's
sort of yes and no.
Okay. Yeah, the Triller are established in an episode of The Next Generation, but it's very they basically retcon what the Trill are for Deep Space Nine to make it better, I guess. But yeah, she's a Trill.
Okay,
she's a joined Trill.
Yeah, but it's like I said, it's like that '90s inclusiveness where like we don't know what the word trans means, but we understand that it's possible to blur gender. Think about it. Weird, huh? Anyway.
They tried.
Yeah, they tried.
All Star Trek is just a big gold star forever.
It's a lot of they tried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then my favorite, maybe my favorite guy, because I identify it with his harried, tired expression in all scenes. O'Brien. I think there should be more. I would prefer if there was miles and miles of O'Brien, personally.
Overworked.
Yeah.
Just tired as fuck.
Miles
Doesn't
O'Brien
want to do
is
it
also.
anymore.
Miles O'Brien is in a very minor character in The Next Generation, and then he becomes like a major character in Deep Space Nine, and he's so good.
Yeah.
Everyone loves Miles.
And then there's, I mean, it's funny I didn't even start with the captain or like the major, like the two most important characters, because they haven't really gone anywhere interesting yet. Like Sisko is introduced with his wife getting fridged, which I know. I realized back then wasn't like a thing people were talking about, but for my 2018 brain, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I'm never gonna forget his performance during that scene where she dies. I just can't. It's forever burned into my mind. We can't just leave her here. I cannot. He just went all out for that scene right away.
He goes all out in every scene he gets a chance to.
He's very good.
Avery Brooks does not half-ass it.
Oh no, he's excellent. Like there are no like shitty Avery Brooks performances throughout Deep Space Nine. He's very they chose well. What did you think? I guess you haven't seen a whole lot from Major Kira. She's my favorite character on Deep Space Nine, but if they haven't really got to a lot of the big ones in Episode 5.
Yeah, I like that she's kind of a fiery political actor, and
oh yeah, she's a terrorist. Let's not.
Yeah, I don't know how fucking honest I want to be right now, but my first thought was like, lady. My brain. That's my main observation.
And I had the same reaction, Austin.
Yeah, I was like,
she's a lovely young woman.
I do very much enjoy the no nonsense political terrorist, so that pushed some of my buttons. And then there's the doctor who just won't take no for an answer. Not a great impression so far.
Okay. It takes a while, but Dr. Bashir is awesome.
Okay, that's good.
He'll grow on you.
God, there's I can't really think of any bad characters in the main cast except perhaps Jake Sisko, but they still do better with this kid character than Wesley Crusher ever did.
Is he going to become a character? Because he's had like 2 lines.
He's in the main cast in the sense that he is in the opening credits, but he's not in every episode.
They give him a good arc.
They give him a good arc. He has probably the best, maybe the best standalone episode of in Deep Space Nine. He's the main character of that.
No.
Oh, what is the best standalone episode? One that has no
best
implications.
Standalone episode is the one about Beyond the Stars.
They do reference that again, but yeah, I suppose in a manner of speaking, that is kind of a contained episode. Yeah, fair. I still prefer The Visitor, but like that always gives me feels. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Austin, with your thoughts.
My thoughts. I just gotta say though, I said I watched 5. Actually, I think I watched 6 of Deep Space Nine. My favorite character is the character from the 6th episode, Tosk. Do you guys?
All right. How can it not be Morn?
Wait, which one is that?
I don't even think we get much into Morn until later. But yeah, Tosk. I am Tosk.
I am Tosk.
Don't you guys? I understand everything you're saying, but what you need to understand is I'm Tosk.
I don't think you're hearing me. I am Tosk. I love him very much. It was also a very Miles O'Brien-centric episode, which I enjoyed. They were basically just in a bromance the whole time.
Right.
I was extremely invested.
But Tosk, can you be Tosk? Well, what you don't seem to understand is I'm Tosk.
That's just what I'm trying to communicate to you now, is that I'm Tosk.
Right.
It's very good.
Oh, God.
Does he come back?
I mean, spoilers, but no.
Oh.
Sorry. This was your entire Tosk portion.
I will cherish it always.
Yeah, that's it, basically. Yeah, sorry about the first season of Deep Space Nine. I don't know what to tell you. You know what? Like I said, I rewatched it not too long ago, and the first season is better than I remembered it. But it's still the weakest of the 7, unfortunately. But yeah, but I'm glad you're watching Star Trek and you liked one of the shows. I mean, that's a start. So I'm glad. You don't have to like everything that I like, Austin. But I appreciate that you're interested anyway.
No, I mean, if I hated them all, I'd just be honest on here, because this is a place for honesty. But I do want to make an effort to share interests. Like, listen, relationships are work, and you have to try to make them work. That's just that's sharing. That's just how adults do.
Okay,
Austin,
fair enough.
Give me the fuzzies. and
all right.
The warm, dry fuzzies, not like the wet, slimy fuzzies.
Yeah,
right.
Austin, you don't have to watch Enterprise.
I have heard that.
Yeah. It's not as bad as people say it is, but it's still bad.
True.
True. Yeah. Except the last season, which is solid.
I've heard a lot of things through the grapevine.
Season 3 has some high points.
It gets better, is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I've said this before, but I always wonder, like, if Enterprise got the full 7 seasons like the other ones did, like, would we even be talking about it the same way? Would like 5, 6, and 7 be also good? And then we'd say the same thing about Enterprise that we said about TNG, where the first 2 seasons are a little rough, but then it gets better.
I love how this conventional wisdom about Star Trek has been passed down. Like, oh, the first couple seasons are always rough, but they get better. It's like, you do realize that's 23 to like 46 hours of entertainment, but like if a JRPG takes like 2.5 hours to set up the plot, people are like, too slow. 2 out of 10.
It is what it is.
Yeah, I guess. Austin, whatever. I can't control it.
I'm just happy you're on my side.
Well,
Star Trek is great for binging these days. Mm-hmm. I can't imagine this TNG being a weekly show today, where we were like, oh, the first 2 seasons of this sucks. I'm definitely never watching it again. So it just wouldn't work.
I did it with my family. You know, like every fucking night Star Trek came on, I sat down with my entire family and we watched it. I had Star Trek The Next Generation fucking pajamas.
But we had different standards for what was good back then, is what I'm trying to say. I'm saying the show now.
Also, where your family was totally cool with everyone just being horny all the time. There's a part where
hell yeah,
Worf punches a lady in the face and goes, "This is sex."
Yeah,
Austin,
it's what he likes.
You ever had sex?
I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to kink shame Worf, all right? Like, I get it. I understand. My point is, it doesn't seem appropriate for the whole family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, it's The Next Generation. I mean, it's not exclusively for children. It was just, I think they were trying to cast a wide net. I mean, it was like a syndicated show.
They did
they
well
don't even know
too. I mean, we got Deep Space Nine and fucking Voyager and Enterprise after it.
Yeah.
It does have something for everybody.
Discovery.
It's got Wesley for the kids. It's got Worf for the people who like rough sex, and it's got Riker for people who like hot dudes.
And jazz sex. I mean, please.
Yeah, here's the thing. Here's the weird thing, Austin.
Me.
Riker. It is my understanding that among the straight women who watched Star Trek, Riker wasn't even the one they wanted the most. It was Data. It was Brent Spiner.
He has that adorkable flavor where he's like, oh, he's the one you settle down with. He's the one who makes you laugh. But Riker, especially Beard Riker, is the one who you kind of want, to spit in your mouth and call you names on the weekend.
I don't know, because Data is fully functional in multiple techniques.
No, he'll treat you right.
Has shown.
Yeah, he'll take you to Pleasure Town. I'm just saying that sometimes you need a Riker in your life.
I guess. I mean, all right.
Yeah, that's another thing. This show is so horny that even the robot fucks.
Oh yeah.
Amazing.
So, good. All right.
In conclusion, I am Tosk.
Okay, so that was 40 minutes of Star Trek talk. I'm actually glad we did it though. It's fine. Johnny, you said you had thoughts or topics this week, so why don't you do that so we have something before questions?
Yeah. Have you guys seen or even dipped your toes into the Netflix series Maniac?
No, not yet. I'm gonna, but I'm been super busy watching a different Netflix series. But please go ahead with your Netflix series.
Austin, any Maniac?
I have not. I saw that it starred a bunch of big Hollywood people, and I was like, I don't know if I really want to watch that. So
it doesn't really star a whole bunch of Hollywood people. The only Hollywood people I can think of are Justin Theroux. Gabriel Byrne has a secondary role, but it mostly stars Emma Stone and that guy,
Jonah Hill.
Yeah,
Jonah Hill.
Yeah. That's the two people who are on the Netflix ad, and I was like,
right.
I don't know if that's really what I watch Netflix originals for, because all the shows I like are mostly unknowns. So anyway,
you should watch it.
Yeah,
this is too hip for this.
It's co-created by Patrick Somerville, who was a producer on The Leftovers, which is a show that I wish you guys would watch so we could talk about it. And Cary Joji Fukunaga, who first came to my attention as one of the chief directors on the first season of True Detective. Fukunaga has just this beautiful eye, and Maniac is a brilliant examination of a variety of styles. It takes place in a weird kind of semi-future, it doesn't really exist. All of it reminds me of Alien, and it reminds me of the Coen brothers, and it reminds me of what's his name? The guy who did Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, Michel Gondry. Right, Gondry.
Mm-hmm.
It just has this aesthetic that is fascinating and beautiful, and the topics it deals with are spec-fucking-tacular. It's largely focused around mental illness and how people are constantly trying to just find the fix, what makes you better. And maybe this is what drew me to it, but oh god, it's so subversive.
Is it better than, or in any way related to, the slasher movie from the 80s?
Better than.
That was a joke. I feel like that
way better than. I would counsel anybody listening to this to watch Maniac on Netflix. And
okay,
you
I heard no buzz about this. So like usually when a new Netflix thing comes out and it kind of goes viral, everyone on my timeline's talking about it. I have not heard a word until now. So this is moves the needle for me. So.
It's 10 episodes. That's all. Like there's no second season. It even says when you look it up, limited series, and they do it so well. And they crib a lot of fantasy and fiction and just I don't want to spoil anything, but it may have been one of the best things I've seen this year. And Cary Joji Fukunaga, did you guys see The Alienist?
No. Is this the guy who directed the episode of True Detective where they had that shootout throughout the whole neighborhood in one take?
He may have.
Okay, I'm gonna Google that because that is the best scene in television history. So if it's that guy, yeah, I'll watch this.
No, he excels at atmosphere and oh god. And this is the thing about Maniac is that it goes from genre to genre really, really quickly in such a perfect way. Essentially it's about a bunch of people who get into a drug trial and then through a glitch they start experiencing each other's things.
Yeah, I looked it up. He did direct that episode. I mean, he directed all of True Detective season 1, which is why it's so much more cohesive than season 2, which is directed by 1,000 different people.
Yeah, but no, I am so on, I'm so taped in to Fukunaga's career at this point in time.
I'm sold.
He is a solid director, and Maniac just buried it for me. Watch it.
Okay.
In conclusion, he is Tosk. That's what I'm going to do at the end of every segment now.
That's fine.
Leon, you said you didn't have anything this week, or just not many things? I got more, dog. Don't feel that you need to stretch yourself.
I got stuff. I just don't know if it's funny or...
That's never stopped us.
Quick interjection.
I know, but
Captain Marvel looks awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably say it.
Yeah. All right. I watch American Vandal both seasons. I sure do like it. I haven't developed any greater thoughts to it besides that.
I love American Vandal.
Yeah, it is good. It's not what I expected it was, because someone said, oh, it's like a mockumentary. I bet it's funny. And it is a little, but it's also just, more serious than I expected it to be. And it's so, which means it's, something I actually want to watch.
Yeah. Keep watching it.
Good.
It's so fun.
I had some thoughts about Brett Kavanaugh's Bad Dick. But yeah.
By the time this episode comes out, that situation will probably have changed entirely. So all of that will just go right into the fucking ether.
Yeah, it's gonna be worse.
The situation changes on an hourly basis. We're up to 5, by the way, right now.
Yeah, not only are we up to 5 accusers, but there's conspiracy theories that he has a doppelganger. Have you guys heard about this?
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Right.
So that's American
people
politics.
Mistook him for his classmate.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so yeah,
that when your politicians are so bad, you have to imagine that they're shapeshifters.
This is the thing I don't get.
Oh no!
There's got to be another judge who actually has, a moral center.
No, yeah,
Tons.
That's the obvious thing is they could have just pulled him a week ago and slammed through someone who's boring and has no baggage, but it's not the point. It's not about winning. It's about showing that the rules don't apply to you.
Yeah.
It's about showing all these libs and these dumb bitches that they can't hold anyone to account, that rich men will get away with it. That's the point, and that's why they're still trying to get this rapist in the court. So
yeah. Yeah, hopefully by the time I post this over the weekend or whenever I feel like it, basically, like this situation will have resolved itself, or it's just going to be so much worse, and everyone's going to think we're like really naive, and we're looking at like the alpha version of this terrible story, whereas like the version 3.0 of this story is actually a million times worse, and we're just talking out of our asses now.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't know. But yeah, but yeah, in all seriousness, like this sucks, and that's all I wanted to say. That's it. That's done. I have things. I don't know. I don't know how much I want to talk about, the fact that I don't care that someone screamed at Ted Cruz. It's I'm sorry, but people were like, well, this is the real fascism. It's like, no, dumbass. Ted Cruz is a powerful senator who's doing a lot of horrible things, and he shouldn't be able to just be happy.
The fact that he can feel safe in public any day is a failure of our system. Did you guys one day where he got shouted at is fine.
Did you guys see where somebody accused, or somebody was like, hey, Beto O'Rourke is way hotter than you. And then there was a photo of Ted Cruz looking at a photo of Beto O'Rourke.
I mean, it's true. It shouldn't matter, but it's not true.
I will reduce myself to pettiness. If you guys want.
I will. No, I will too. And this is not my joke, but Ted Cruz at all times looks like someone who just realized he looks like Ted Cruz. So not my joke, but solid enough to repeat it. Anyway, that's I'm done.
Yeah.
These people are just fucking clowns.
Yeah, what is there to say at a certain point? It's like they're gross, let's vote them out. If we don't, that's on us, we fucked up. See you in November.
Yeah. You had better vote them out.
Yeah, I sometimes I make videos trying to educate people about things like this, but like
your asshole in chief got laughed at the UN Assembly.
Yeah.
No, but did you hear they laughed at him out of respect?
Oh yeah. No, they laughed.
Fucking
with him,
humiliating.
Of course. I've only ever seen 8 Germans in a room laugh at with someone out of respect.
Yeah, there's actually a line from The Next Generation which ties in nicely to this. Data is explaining to his daughter the difference between...
Wait, what? That sentence went some places.
Sorry, spoilers.
Okay.
You're gonna have to watch it. Lol.
Okay.
Sorry. Data is explaining to his daughter the difference between someone laughing at you and someone laughing with you, and she's like, "What's the difference?" And he says, "One is meant in kindness, and the other is not." And he doesn't say it like that though. He says it like Data.
Yeah.
But yeah. Like I feel like I've said it before. Every answer to the world's problems can be solved in a Star Trek episode. Maybe someone should show Donald Trump that one clip, and then he'll understand that he is a fool and the entire world is laughing at him.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what it'll take.
That's what it'll do. That's what it's going to be.
Okay.
Star Trek is the only thing that can save us.
All right, we still have like 10 minutes to questions, so I'm going to throw out another thing I watched we can talk about. I know you guys haven't seen this because you have better things to do with your time, but I watched the Hulu original series Castle Rock. Have you heard of this?
I've heard that it is the Stephen King cinematic universe show, but I haven't seen it.
People tell me I should see it.
Yeah, it is the Stephen King show. It's set in one of the town of Castle Rock where many of his stories take place, and they do some references. Like someone will be like looking through old newspapers and they'll see one of the headlines is like "Dog attacks lady," and it's like, oh, Cujo. Or there's a subplot that takes place in
it's
Shawshank.
It.
That would be great if they were really blasé about the references. It's just walking down the street and he's like, and Pennywise says, "Hi." That's the entire scene.
There's something where they talk about every 27 years this happens, which is a reference to it.
Oh, okay.
But the actual storyline is pretty original to Stephen King's work. It's not like Cujo 2 or Shawshank 2 or anything. It's about this guy who they find locked up in Shawshank, and like a secret. It's not a secret. It's like a burned out old part that isn't used anymore. And it's like, was this guy locked up? What's happening? Also, the warden committed suicide. That's weird. And it's a mystery surrounding this weird prisoner. And the show is mostly not horror, which I thought was weird because it's Stephen King, who's like, the most popular horror writer of all time. And there's a couple of disturbing sequences, but mostly it's just kind of a small town drama about this guy whose mother has Alzheimer's, played by Sissy Spacek, giving an amazing performance. She is like at the height of her career somehow. Between this and Bloodlines. A phenomenal actor.
Also, she was in a Stephen King adaptation movie.
She played Carrie.
As I recall.
The first Stephen King novel and film. So it's like full circle. Like, this is the end of her career. Not to be morbid, but
Didn't Cujo come first?
No, Carrie is his first novel and the first film.
All right.
Yep. I am that bitch. Let me tell you, I know the order of Stephen King's books. Yeah. But yeah, it's this guy, and he's the lawyer of this person who gets found being locked up, and then his mother with Alzheimer's has like a boyfriend who has history with the family, and there's like a lady who this lady who has basically the Shining power from The Shining, although they never call it that, and it's just like this small town drama around all this weird stuff.
Yeah, God damn it, Johnny. All right, go ahead.
Is that Simpsons?
Yes.
I've never seen it, but I'm aware of that existing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's not actually, I was going in, I was like, ooh, this is the Stephen King universe. I bet there's going to be like a Cujo episode and a Salem's Lot episode and a Firestarter episode, but it's kind of just a creepy drama with Stephen King references. So it's not really what I was looking for, and although there are good performances, it didn't leave like a lasting impression. So there's like a couple really good scenes is what I'll say. Like, one of the episode ends in a really stark, memorable moment that I recommend, but I don't know that I recommend the whole show.
Okay.
So yeah, I wish I had something more interesting to say. It's kind of just like a decent show that was mostly to pander to people like me who know which order the books came in. But yeah, I don't have much more to say than that. So that's that show. Anybody else?
Okay.
Sorry,
no.
Leon, go on.
Yeah. I said no.
Oh.
That was the entire that was it. You want to do questions?
We can do questions.
I have a thing.
Yeah. Oh God, give us the thing,
Johnny
Johnny.
has a thing.
Johnny's VR corner.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I played a game this week called Transference. So apparently, when Elijah Wood voiced Henry, which was an Emmy-winning digital VR short about a porcupine that didn't have any friends to show up to his birthday party, he got really into VR. So he helped found a company called SpectreVision, and they worked with Ubisoft to make a video game called Transference, starring, and I know Leon knows this name, Macon Blair.
All right.
It was terrifying. It was it's more or less about a man who digitizes his family's minds, but something goes wrong. And you wander through this like music store / apartment complex / a bunch of other things, and it's terrifying in such a brilliant way. Like, jump scares are so played out. They have been for decades. But this, like, uneasy air that you get wandering through this home that changes states. Like, doors appear and disappear you can go places and then suddenly they don't exist. It is a nasty, guttural, just it hit me kind of hard. And Macon Blair. And if you don't know Macon Blair, you should, because he's a great actor. He's done phenomenal fucking work. Blue Ruin, upon Leon's recommendation, is one of my favorite movies now. He's also very good in, I just watched it recently. I tweeted to you, Leon, about it. Kill Party?
Oh, Murder Party.
Murder Party, yeah. Murder Party. And he's good in Green Room. And he directed the Netflix original, I Don't Want to Live in This World Anymore.
Excellent movie.
Oh, so good. Yeah. So, Jeremy Saulnier, who is tangentially related, watch all his movies. Watch Macon Blair. Pay attention. It terrified.
Okay. All right. Are you guys ready for questions?
I am ready for questions, but I did have one thing to share with you guys, and that is I'm obsessed with the Twitter account. And I just this is all I look at now.
Okay, I'm scared.
There's literally everything that I've been doing in my spare time. But this would make me howl for anyone who is not Austin and Johnny. I'm referring to the Surreal Memes Bot Twitter account. It's very good, and I can't recommend it enough. It's exactly my aesthetic right now. I'm just all about it. It's at Memes Surreal, and it's just
you have failed us. Atone or die.
Yeah, it's a lot. They're just very strange, vaporwave-ish, surreal kind of nonsense. And I just love it very, very much. That's it. That's my entire thought on it.
It's like the bad YouTube thumbnails account where it's like all this stuff that looks like it was assembled by edgy middle schoolers who are trying to be deep.
Right.
It's
a lot.
There's a picture of a mango and the ghostly face of Danny DeVito and Kanye West behind it, and the text just says, "Touch it. Touch the mango."
This is actually a good one. This is
Austin.
I'm just gonna show you one more, and it's an animated one, so definitely click on it.
Austin.
Me.
Guess what?
Yeah, I saw it. What?
I'm gonna touch.
Okay. Yeah. Sees the means of productions, and it's like a tape that's flipping out. Yeah, this is bad for audio, but it
is. I just wanted to recommend something to someone. Mm-hmm. That's it. I'm ready for questions now.
All right, so let's just get in here. First question, Rachel Rasterbutt on Twitter. I cannot pronounce your @Ray Chicanati. Sorry, I fucked up. The question is, thoughts and feelings about the Telltale Games shenanigans. This feels like the end of a story arc we've been developing on WordFunk for a couple of years now. Because every time they release a new game, I'm like, wow, it's a little worse than the last one, huh? And
they didn't do anything from the last one.
And now consequences have kind of come home to roost. And I don't want to blame the developers. Obviously, a lot of talented people work there, and they're doing their best. But management has been failing them for literally years at this point. I mean,
Agreed.
Walking Dead hit it big in, 2012? Something like that.
No, earlier than that.
It's been a long time coming. They have failed to update any of their workflow. Their engine is creaky and old. Their funding was apparently shaky, and it got pulled at the last minute, and the studio basically collapsed overnight. They laid off almost everybody. First, they said, we're going to try to finish The Walking Dead we're working on, and then they said, well, we're looking for partners, and then they started pulling it from storefronts. So,
not even just that, but now they're offering up explanations where it's like, oh no, don't worry, partners are coming on, we fired like 250 people, but your game is coming out.
Yeah, don't worry. The people that, put their heart and souls into this and who were fired without severance in violation of California law, they're not going to get paid or finish this thing. But we'll find someone who will, take less money to maybe shit out the end of a thing that couldn't keep us afloat. Is that good enough? Please don't be mad at us.
And then there's a former employee who's engaging a class action lawsuit.
Yeah. They almost certainly broke the law. You can't just fire everybody with no notice in California, because California, for some of its governmental faults, actually does try to support its workers. It's one of the few states that does have a kind of progressive attitude about that sort of stuff. It helps that the entertainment industry is there. And since the entertainment industry is made up of, let's say, more thoughtful people, sometimes they have tried to unionize, most successfully the film industry, not the video game, although they're trying. So there's some protections. We'll see how that shakes out. But yeah, the reactions to this closure, I mean, first it was a mass layoff, and now it appears to be a kind of closure, if not in name.
But they haven't filed for bankruptcy.
Yeah, I mean, the problem doesn't appear to be debts. It appears to just have been mismanagement, and the fact that I think there was 2 investors pulled out. I don't have my facts in front of me, but yeah, so it's not like, I mean, none of their games sold as well as Walking Dead, right? But they were selling, and Telltale, the name means something. If they were a better run, they could have, been bought out by a company with more cash. They could have not spread themselves so thin over so many licenses and so many games. Yeah. It appears to really just have been the people at the top were bad at their jobs.
Ah, jeez. People with lots of money and no sense don't know how to do things.
Mm-hmm. And I think, especially for me and Johnny, we've seen this up close and personal when a very successful brand with a lot of successful talent gets together, but the couple, 2 or 3 people with all the money just refuse to invest in the success of their company. Sometimes it doesn't work out.
Do you figure?
Is that a subtweet if everyone knows?
I feel like anyone who's listened to this show for long enough, or at least who knows who I am, is what we're talking about.
Nah, Leon, I don't think they do.
Okay.
But yeah, I liked a lot of Telltale games. That's weird to say. I liked a lot of their video games. I think Borderlands, Tales from the Borderlands, was probably the funniest video game ever made. Not a high bar, but I think they cleared it. Walking Dead, especially the first season, was extremely good. Wolf Among Us, very stylish.
Wolf Among Us is a favorite of mine.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. It is sad to see them go if they go entirely. Those people, hopefully, will find jobs elsewhere, and their talent will enrich many other games.
I was so down with Telltale from like the moment they slapped Sam and Max right back in my face.
Mm-hmm. But here's a thing that's been interesting to watch is the solidarity of people in the video game industry trying to help find jobs for these people talking about unionizing, very good. People being first outraged and then trying to figure out where to direct that rage. I know there was a really good there was a reaction where someone said, if these people really cared about the game, they would finish it for free. That's what modders do. And obviously that person was publicly roasted by 1,000 fiery Twitter users. And I think, at least my understanding is, they realized they were wrong and apologized for that bad opinion, which is progress, I guess, but also just a public demonstration of how little people understand video game development.
Or any development whatsoever.
Yeah, but a video game development is particularly non-transparent. Like, there's a lot of documentaries about filmmaking. You can, read books about it. Video games is kind of a black box for most people. They don't really get it, and even if the stuff is there to find, it's not accessible for a lot of people. Yeah. And we got to work towards changing that, because Telltale Games, the brand, did not make the games you love. It was people who need to make money to feed their families, and that's the most important thing, and we have to hold that above finding out what happens to Clementine. That's a fictional person, and just not as important. So
agreed.
Perspective. Unionize. Anybody else?
No,
Yeah?
I'm with you.
I've never played any of their games.
Cool.
Oh, Leon, you should play.
But obviously,
The Wolf Among Us.
all right.
You'll
But
hate
obviously, okay. But obviously, politically, I'm right there with you, so I'd just be echoing your,
Yeah. Here's a question that's been on everybody's lips. Jade, Professor Jade, of course, a doctorate of question, asks...
Hi, Jade.
Hi, Jade.
Bowsette?
I have no idea. Like,
It's all over my timeline, so cool, I guess. But like, I don't know what I can really add to it.
The
more than
discourse is so thick, boys. How are you not exposed to it? Okay, so...
I am. I told you, it's all over my timeline.
No, you
I
the
just don't know
pictures. I'm
what
saying
else.
the discourse. The discourse.
I don't know what you mean. I just see pictures.
Okay.
I don't read the replies. It's just like, oh, neat.
I assume everyone knows, but in the new release of
I
New Super...
don't care.
In the new release of New Super Mario Bros. U, there's an item which can turn Toadette into Princess Peach,
Right.
or Peachette. Peachette is the name of the character. And it's raising all kinds of lore questions. What does this crown do? Are people and mushrooms the same in Mario? What's happening?
Okay, all right. Sorry. Are we concerned with Nintendo's lore?
People are deeply concerned with Nintendo's lore.
All right. Austin,
it's just look. Oh my god! It's just a
Link to me.
No,
it's just a magic item that changes someone, and it's the same thing. Like, remember when we were like, "Oh, Mario's hat." Mario was just a hat the whole time, and then you played the game and you realized that was not what the game was about. Wait until the game starts, dummy. How about that? How about that as my answer to the discourse?
Yeah. All right.
It'll be explained in the instruction manual. Where everything is.
I'm with you, Leon.
It's
it's
fine.
For fuck's sakes, just take a breath.
It's coming.
You guys are such killjoys. Everyone's out here trying to weave these very complicated explanations so that we can headcanon every Mario character as trans, and you're all like, it's just a video game.
No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying, like, the answers are coming in, like, a few weeks.
No, there's no answers. It's a 2D platformer. there's no story.
There's a tutorial in every game where it says, and this will make you do the thing. And just the same thing has happened with Mario Odyssey, where we're like, oh, that's what that is.
No, it's an old game they added an item to. There's no context that's going to make it okay.
I am saying that. It's just a video game.
It's not. No, my thing is this. It's magic. Toadette touches a thing, and it makes Toadette a different person.
Yes,
or appear to be a different person. That's it.
In a video
it's fine.
game.
Yeah, just like when they touch the magic mushroom and they become a bigger person, or when they touch the fire flower and they become a person who can shoot fire. They don't. It's fine.
Someone literally just replied to my Twitter question prompt with "Tell Leon about Bowsette." Everyone's so excited.
Dude, my timeline is full of Bowsette. It's fine. Like it's okay.
I'm telling you, everybody's horny. Anyway.
Right. Yeah, and by the way, I haven't seen any hentai of Bowsette, if that's what you mean by everybody's horny. I just seen, like, pictures of Bowsette. I don't see pictures of Bowsette, like, touching herself.
I mean, all the Bowsette carries an implication of thirst.
Leon, I wish I were you. I really wish I were you.
I'm sorry, I used to follow someone on Twitter who posted a lot of, like, frankly, like, drawn porn, and not for that reason, but for other reasons. I don't follow that person anymore. That person turned out to be kind of shitty.
Right.
I check my Twitter in the law school. So if you post porn, you have been probably muted or unfollowed. Nothing personal. Don't want to get yelled at. All right, next question. Silent Wind of Doom at ForceChoke13 on Twitter asks Leon, do you think that Kevin Owens has the ability to, or already has supplanted Vader as the best big man ever? Parentheses, wrestling. I hope that made sense because I don't know what any of those words mean.
No, it's fine.
Wrestling.
I guess it's a little soon for that. Also, like the difficult part of that question is that nobody can ever decide on what big man means.
Is there really a wrestler named Vader?
Yeah, Vader.
Is that a reference to Darth Vader, or is it just a coincidence?
I don't know if it was specifically meant to be a reference to Darth Vader, but he doesn't dress like Darth Vader.
Yeah, Austin, he just chose it because it was a word in the dictionary.
Also, someone working for a Japanese promotion decided that his name was going to be Vader. I don't know if he was like the Vader, like Star Wars, or if like someone, or if that person just thought the word sounded cool. Like maybe it means something to. I don't know.
Forgive my ignorance, Leon, but is not Andre the Giant the best big man? Have I misunderstood something?
No, I mean, he's probably the most famous one, but like when people say best, they're talking about like like the ability to create captivating matches with great athleticism, and Andre the Giant could barely move.
Are you standing for the Big Show, Leon?
No, and that's kind of what I'm talking about. When people say like, well, who's the best big man? Like, what counts as a big man? Is there a height requirement? Is there a weight requirement? Because like people will say, well, is Samoa Joe a big man because he's like a fat dude who punches people? Because he's only like my height. He's not big. He's just wide. But he usually wrestles people who are much smaller than him. And does that make him a big man? How tall is Kevin Owens? I'm gonna look it up because I don't even think he's that tall. He's just chubby.
Austin. Can I call you Big Man from now on?
Sure.
Kevin Owens is my height. He's much shorter than Austin. That means
plot twist. Leon is the best big man.
Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah.
All right.
He's just heavy. So I again, like, I mean, if just guys who are like slightly above average height, but have a belly count as a big man, then maybe he's a great big man. But mostly he's an average-sized wrestler, except that he has a beer belly. And I don't mean like that in a shitty way, like, oh, he's out of shape. No, he's a very good athlete. He does really cool things. He's just, he's not the kind of guy who does a million crunches and has like to have like amazing abs. That's his look, and he's good with it.
Thanks, big man.
Yeah, he's very good. But yeah, so the answer is kind of no, but only because I really wouldn't consider him one. I'm gonna look up how big Vader was, but of course, oh wait, no, he did pop up. Yes, well, he was billed as being 6'5", but that's always usually bullshit. He was extremely heavy though, so I would say that he counts as a big man, which is why, in addition to his bigness, and his he was also just like he did a lot of really cool matches. And people just loved him, and he was like WCW heavyweight champion a couple times, but he was also like really huge in Japan. Like that's like to be like a foreigner who is like also like a huge star in Japan is a big deal, or especially was a big deal in like the 80s and 90s.
I'm big in Japan.
Yeah. All right. So no, but that's not like me knocking Kevin Owens. If I crane my neck up a little bit, I'm taller than Kevin Owens, so he's not a big man.
All right. For my money, the best big man is, of course, E. Honda.
Yep.
Does that count as a joke? Anyway, next question.
So we got big man
like
agreement from Big Man and Bigger Man.
Sure.
Hot. Next question. This is actually the hardest question we may have ever answered on the show. At least it will be for me. Benita Soleil asks, that's at Cortez in Venice on Twitter. Question is, favorite rom-com?
Love Actually.
Oh, damn, you just came out the gate. I was like, me and Leon are pretentious snobs. Do we have answers to this? I feel like we aren't the kind of people who watch it, and maybe that is gendered and bad.
I don't like romantic comedies as a general rule.
Because you're a snob.
But I'm sure, but I'm sorry, they're bad. But they're bad, but also like I don't watch a lot of comedies, and I don't care about romantic things for as much as the average person. So I mean, I'll look up what are the best romantic comedies and see if any of them I care about.
Have either of you seen One Night at McCool's?
No.
No, you've told me about it, but like I years later, I still haven't seen your movie.
Your movie. He made it. He is McCool.
Yeah.
Johnny McCool Maloney. The only thing that pops into my head, and maybe this is a dodge, but is the Adam Sandler movie Punch Drunk Love, which is kind of a dark comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll accept that.
It's It's definitely a romantic comedy.
It is, but with a mentally ill lead, and it goes some places. But that's the one that
but
yeah.
The fact that it strays a little from like the formula, if you could call it that, doesn't like change its genre.
But that feels like answering good. Like 500 Days of Summer, because it deconstructs the rom-com, which is like, now I can answer this question, but I'm still better than people who like rom-coms. It's just like a shitty answer to the question.
Die Hard.
That's fair.
Fuck off.
They get together at the end, and it's funny.
Stop. That's just because. That's literally just because.
That's called Western fiction.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, it's also just like movies have to have a woman as a reward. So that's just bad, actually. So bad actually would be a really great romantic comedy. Be like one of those scary movie parodies of them. I can't remember the guys who do that. Seltzer and something.
Yeah.
I can't remember Seltzer.
No, I still stand by Love Actually was
okay.
Was a good one for me.
Okay.
Especially because it includes a Scott Walker song.
Hmm.
Okay.
Not that one. The other one.
No, yeah. The singer, not the non-singer who is a bad U.S. politician.
Yeah.
Yeah. The version of that movie more geared towards men would probably be called Well, Actually.
I love you, Leon.
Shut up. That was great.
I recognized it as being funny, but my body didn't make the proper response.
How dare
love
you?
that you said it.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
I appreciated it.
Eat my entire ass.
Okay.
Rotten Tomatoes says Groundhog Day is a romantic comedy. That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
It's a good one. And also there's romance. And I'm almost towards the end of the list, and I've only found a few that I'm into.
Yikes.
Sorry that I'm... Oh, no! I win! The Princess Bride! Ah! Fuck it. I won. I win the whole conversation.
Fair enough. I mean, it's a fantasy movie, so...
No.
I mean...
No, it's also a romantic...
No, Die in a Fire, Leon.
It's a romantic movie, and it's a comedy, and I've won.
Return of the Jedi. At the end, Han Solo and Leia hook up, so Return of the Jedi.
The never-ending story, because Artax dies in a swamp.
No, none of what you said was right, but I was right. Yeah.
I love you guys.
Yeah. Next, I mean, I've already won, so we can move on.
Nice. All right. Cyretha asks, best/favorite animated show of the last decade is their qualification, but no matter what decade we're talking about, for me, it's Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Best animated show of the last decade?
Yeah.
Oh. I mean, I guess my favorite was the one we talked about last week for most of the episode.
BoJack
Horseman.
Yeah, I guess.
Even more than Adventure Time?
It's kind of anticlimactic to just say the thing we talked about last week, but so maybe I should think of another one as well.
I'll stand by that. BoJack. Totally.
Yeah? It's actually a surprisingly rough field. Like, I know I came to my answer quickly, but there's a lot of good animated stuff. It's kind of a Cartoon Network renaissance and, anime.
Well, TV generally is kind of blowing up, And
have you guys heard about this
TV
thing? It's really blown up.
Yeah, I sure do love the new Voltron. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of the ones to pick, but yeah, like the one I talked about way too much last week is probably the one.
That's really impressive. 2 votes for BoJack, and that show is so new, and you guys are so distinguished. I have such good opinions.
Look,
yeah,
Austin.
Yeah,
it did a whole episode
in one monologue. Yeah, that's true. That is a very good argument. It might win.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a great. That doesn't show much great animation, but it definitely shows great, writing. Maybe people want us to like talk about shows that have like amazing.
Okay, no, all right.
Actual visuals. Or...
No, okay. So it did one monologue show. It did a completely silent show.
I understand.
It did a whole show of the internal monologue of the character.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, like. I better go see my mom. Maybe have a drink first. Okay, had a drink. Like,
Yes, I know. I understand. What I'm saying is like in terms of the writing, sure. But when people say what is the best animated show, they're actually talking about like the animation, like the visual.
Well, let's
and BoJack.
That wasn't
Horseman,
the question. It was favorite.
Well, let's change the question though. What do you guys think is the best animated? I know we're not experts here, but is there any show that sticks out to you that like is just incredibly beautiful, even if it didn't touch you the way BoJack did emotionally?
Well, honestly, it would probably be something from anime, and I don't follow it close enough, and that's why, that's why I'm like dreading the comments when someone says, "Oh, BoJack, it practically looks like it's in Flash," but I like real animation. So that's why that came to mind. I predict bad comments. It's my superpower.
Nice. I was gonna say Over the Garden Wall. Have you guys seen that?
No.
It's extraordinary. Holy shit, have we not talked about Over the Garden Wall?
I was going to say Attack on Titan.
Attack on Titan is, I say, effective. It's a very high budget for anime. That's another thing. Like you say, most of the best animated things are probably anime. Like anime is notorious for having low budgets.
But still, like it does so well animating, setting its place and the action scenes and just like So, if we're talking about best animation, I'd say Attack on Titan.
But shit, you guys need to watch Over the Garden Wall. It's a limited. It's not like a ongoing show. It's like I don't know, like 6 episodes, 8 episodes. It was kind of just like a mini series on Cartoon Network, I believe, and it is incredible.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, also, I mean, Gravity Falls is in the conversation, frankly, with Adventure Time and Steven Universe and so forth. Yeah, that's that question. I'm just trying to think of any other animated shows. Anyway. Yuri on Ice is incredible.
Yeah, I love that. It's only 1 season though, and it's like, come on, fucking anime. Why do you do like that,
JoJo?
Like, JoJo doesn't have the best budget. It looks like the manga,
but it's so stylish and just fucking like.
I love JoJo, but it is a very specific thing.
Look, the last season, all right, was very well done.
Yeah, I love JoJo, but with caveats. Anyway, here's a very Johnny question. We're about out of time. Here's a light one to go out on. Crelly, God, can you guys just call yourselves like John 26 or something so I can pronounce it? Crelliamite asks, what do you all think about brunch? Johnny, for new listeners, loves food. It's his area of expertise.
I mostly just eat when I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Brunch is.
I don't have like.
Brunch is amazing, Leon.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not. I'm sure. I'm just saying, like in terms of when I eat. Like, there's no breakfast, lunch, or dinner for me because I just work out of my home.
Those real freshman hours.
You have brunch then.
I guess. I mean, in the sense that I probably have eaten meals after when people traditionally have breakfast, but before they traditionally have lunch. But what I mean is whatever people eat for brunch, like there are specific kind of things to be had
like eggs
for
Benedict.
Brunch. Right.
Delicious.
No.
Oh, fuck off. Fuck off.
No.
Delicious.
Both of you?
Don't humor him, Johnny.
Sorry, Austin. Eggs Benedict.
The best.
Leon.
Very good. He hates it. He's bad.
I don't eat eggs that are more complicated than scrambled eggs.
You really are just like a forever college freshman. You know that? And
I just don't care. Look,
I'm jealous of it. No, you're living a good life.
When are you gonna grow up?
Complicate your eggs,
Benedict. God damn it.
Food is just fine. It's okay. I don't care. I don't have a sophisticated. I'm very easily pleased by food. Like it doesn't have to be any more complicated than like, oh, this oatmeal's fine. Then I move on with my life. It's just not an interest of mine. I ate like old pizza for dinner, and it was fine. A lot of it. So I ate most.
I am learning right now. I am training to slap a person across a continent.
just don't care. Like, it's
I'm
fine.
actually,
If someone
I'm jealous, Leon.
If someone said, hey, Leon, here is eggs Benedict, and it's free for you to eat right now, I'm like, oh, fine. I would eat it.
You wouldn't, though,
But
because
if
I already leapt into frame and ate it before you could.
No
right.
fucking kidding.
But if someone said, hey, Leon, here is eggs Benedict, you have to pay this much to make it and put this amount of effort into making it, I was like, oh, I would enjoy something cheaper and easier to make almost exactly as much. So it doesn't matter.
What else can hollandaise sauce go on? Because it rules, but I don't think I've ever had it on anything but eggs Benedict.
Salmon.
What is it for? Okay, salmon.
I don't like things that are drippy. For one thing. So I'm just gonna tell you that right now.
It's like a
when
reverse
when I-
kink.
Yeah, like I'm looking at all kinds of egg things right now. Like I couldn't possibly eat like an egg where like it's fried and there's like the gooey
This
part.
is
No.
deeply
no,
Freudian.
it's not fried. It's fucking.
I don't care. I'm talking about another kind of egg preparation where people just fry it and the yolk is in the middle and it's gooey. And it's like, no, pass.
Wait,
I don't
you've
think
never
so.
had like a gooey yolk on a burger?
I've had gooey yolk in general and I don't like it.
It's a texture and like an experiential thing, right? It's not the flavor.
Yeah. It's slimy
Yeah.
and I'm not into
Alright.
it.
You're not a sensualist,
I'm just
Leon.
okay.
Burgers are fine. I ate
It's okay.
I ate a hot dog today and nothing was on it and it was very good.
Was that your
It's
snack?
fine. That was my lunch. I ate one hot dog for
Fucking
lunch.
hell,
No,
dude.
With nothing on it.
No, it was fine.
You're like the
what
fucking
kind of
Kellogg
bun?
guy.
I'm not gonna like. Why would I add more calories and I wouldn't like it that much more anyway? Sometimes I do treat myself and I have a burger with like some toppings on it. Like I like jalapeno. I like spicy food, so if I can put like jalapenos on top of it, that's cool.
So like,
I guess.
so
point?
like, how would you feel about deep fried jalapenos on a burger with
why
garlic
would I
aioli?
deep fry them?
All right.
Ew, what? Ew, I don't want anything that's called aioli.
No, Leon, like half the point of being alive is to try different sauces. Like
I've had a bunch of sauces. They're fine. I don't care.
Like someday I couldn't
It's
even
not-
get out of bed some days if I wasn't anticipating the sauces I would encounter.
It's fine. I had some Cheetos today. They were pretty good.
You
What was
dry
your
ass white.
snack?
You're the driest ass white boy of all time, and I love
What
you.
was your snack?
That was it.
Cheetos?
Yeah, I just said, oh, for a snack, I'll just have a few Cheetos, and now I'm done eating Cheetos because you don't want to have too many because they're bad for you.
That was the thing that you were ashamed of?
No.
Oh God, we're back to the beginning.
Oh, you're referring to the thing from before. No, we were just talking about Cheetos.
I bet the audience will know what we're talking about because there was no context.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh, the most, I guess, sophisticated, if you could call it that, thing that I like is Indian food. But like, I can't make
That's
it
only
myself.
sophisticated because Americans are fucking broken inside.
What I mean is that it is the thing I can't make myself. I'm gonna put a breast of chicken in the slow cooker and put some like spices on it and stuff and eat it later, and that will be my meal.
So-
and but I don't know how to make Indian food very well, so I go I get carry out. I don't go to carry out.
So
a lot
like
because it's
butter
expensive.
chicken? That's your go-to?
No, like
Rogan
malai
Josh.
kofta. Oh my God! Just let me talk. I when I go get Indian food, I usually have either malai kofta or aloo gobi. The second one is like it's just a bunch of vegetables with spice on it, and the other one is like it's kind of like a spicy vegetable ball thing. It's good. That's it. But, like, not a lot because, it's a little expensive and, like, I don't spend a lot of money on food because I would rather spend it on, things I care about. like paying the bills.
Yeah, you're like an ascetic monk. You're like one of those people who ate cornflakes because you don't like having a libido and you don't like sauces.
Cornflakes
and I get
it.
It's just that you also aren't a religious nut, which is supposed to go together with that stuff. Like you missed a key element of the puzzle of the person you would have been at every other time in history.
Yeah, cornflakes are good, by the way.
Yeah, I'm just in 2018. This version of Leon is anomalous.
I bought a big box of cornflakes like I think a couple months ago, and it lasted me a while.
That checks out.
That was good.
That is part of your persona. If you were any other person, if that makes sense.
Leon,
yeah. You know what
I'm gonna bite you.
Okay. Sometimes I don't like eating. Sometimes I just like eating sides. Mm-hmm. Like if I would have something to eat, like I have garlic bread. I will just eat that instead of make a bunch of pasta and also garlic bread on the side and something else.
We've all been sloppy garlic boys.
Yeah, it's true. How do you make salad?
I don't. I definitely don't. I don't eat salad. That's not a thing for me. Yeah, but anyway. Like sometimes I don't want to make a bunch of eggs and bacon, so I'll just eat some bacon.
Yeah.
Like I'll just fry up 3 pieces of bacon and then I'll go to sleep.
Yeah, it's called undergrad. We've all done it.
Yeah,
I
just
actually,
don't care.
Austin, I sous vide my bacon. So
in college, or as an adult?
Well, like right now.
Yeah, right now I know. I'm
good.
saying, how long have you been a sous vide lad?
Like,
I don't know the words you're saying, but it's
6
okay.
years.
Okay, that's normal. I'm just saying, if you had been a sous vide lad from high school or something, that's a psychosis, not a lifestyle choice.
Yeah.
You keep saying a word and I don't know what it is, but it's okay.
No,
I'm just gonna.
He's talked about it. It's like
it's my immersion circulator.
Yeah, it's like boiling, but not boiling.
I can basically just drop a packet of bacon into my water bath and let it cook for 12, 24 hours, take it out, and then just crisp it.
Yeah.
Okay. What are all the drinks you guys drink? Because I only drink water.
I was a only water person for a long time. When I started law school, I started drinking coffee, and I got a caffeine habit that I'm trying to kick. So I'm currently down to water and the occasional coffee. I'm trying to get rid of it though. I don't like being dependent on anything. So.
About like once a week I'll have a Sprite Zero as a treat to myself, but that's about it. But that has no caffeine in it.
I have an espresso machine and a coffee bean grinder.
Fancy lad.
Yeah. Well, I am the fancy lad.
It's true. That's your aesthetic.
Apparently. Yeah. So I will grind and make my own espresso. But apart from that, Leon, I'm with you. Mostly just water. If I need something sweet, I drink juice. It's called Ribena. It's a concentrated black currant juice that you dilute like 1 to 8 or something like that, and it's good.
While you were talking, I thought about water, and then I wanted to drink some water, so I did. While you were,
I had the same exact thing, but my bottle's empty. Fuck. I literally went for a sip.
I have a big jug. I have a big jug of water that was just sitting on the floor, so I just reached over. It's very good.
I have my coffee right here.
Okay, that's fine.
All right. That was a question about brunch. We just kind of went down the rabbit hole on food there. Sorry.
All right, Austin. One more quick question because I need to cleanse my palate.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
All right. I didn't have one queued up, so I just want to say to kill time that I still am Tosk. So there is that.
That'll never go away.
No.
You always are.
Yeah, that's me forever now. Here's one. John Wilcox at John Will, and then a bunch of numbers, asks, do you think a work of fiction is weakened by propaganda, or is it simply another fact to be dealt with in criticism?
Ooh.
we've talked before about like Mad Max Fury Road and how its feminist ideology is clear and upfront and not subtle, and how I kind of dig that. And if you consider that propaganda, that's kind of a fuzzy term. I don't think so. I just think you should propagandize good things.
Yeah, but the thing is, we're talking about when people say propaganda, it always has like kind of a negative connotation. Propaganda usually means messaging that is also dishonest. If you're talking about if you mean that, then that's an element to talk about. But if you just mean movies with messages, that's just art. In general, you can't escape your art meaning something to someone. So it kind of depends on what you mean by propaganda.
Yeah, if your art isn't honest, then that's just a failure of the art usually, unless it's a work about dishonesty, I guess.
But if your art is dishonest on purpose, then it's definitely propaganda.
Every art is political. Every art has message.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can't get away from it. But of course, there are degrees. Of course, some is more overtly political, and some is just like if you watch an action movie and the bad guys are Russians, you might know when it was made, and right.
Speaking of, I was just playing Shadowrun Dragonfall, the second in the Shadowrun Returns thing. It used to be one executable, and now they're separate games on Steam: Dragonfall Hong Kong and Dead Man Switch.
And I got away clean.
Johnny, unkillable in Dead Man Switch. I'll probably talk about it next week more because I'm playing Hong Kong now, and I'll just talk about it all at once. Dragonfall is phenomenal, but it's also
way better game. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very good. It's also just so explicitly political. We played a Cyberpunk game on Dicefunk, and a lot of people were like, Austin's on a soapbox again, talking about politics. And it's like, how could you make a game in a Cyberpunk setting that isn't, or doesn't feel like propaganda, right?
The word punk is right in it.
Yeah, we've talked about that. It's just like the game is about the only anarchist community in a corporatocracy world. Like every country's been taken over by corporations, and you are like the last bastion of like civilization that isn't taken over. And it's so tied up in all this politics and stuff. I could see if you played the game and you didn't agree with it, you'd be like, this is 20 hours of propaganda front to back. But if you were open to it, I feel like, oh, it's just an incredibly interesting, cool ass game. But that would be propaganda to someone if you didn't buy into what it's trying to talk about. So, I mean, propaganda just might not be a useful word.
Did people really try to go after you?
I don't want to be like antagonistic. I had some conversations with people in the community about how they felt I was handling what are basically just genre conventions. but you know, people have preferences. If you're not interested in the genre, that's fine. But it is what it is. So I don't know.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
And the episode.
You gotta say that in a more antagonistic way, Austin. Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, man. Be more cyberpunk. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
a real runner would just show up at their house and ice them.
No.
Okay.
They might just, hack.
I was talking about this in the Discord, but like in Dicefunk, like all these people banded together, the heroes, and they overthrew the evil corporation and saved the day. And then I played Shadowrun, and you spend the whole game torturing people, trying to take down human traffickers, and at the end, either everyone dies or the corporations take over and fuck you. It's like I think in comparison, we did basically My Little Pony version of Cyberpunk. We did the rainbows and golden future forever happiness version. So.
And you know what, Austin? In both games, I get away.
That is the takeaway: is that Johnny cannot be stopped. Personally, the flux state may be doomed. Corporations will control us all, but Johnny's always going to get away clean.
Always.
All right, we should go.
Yeah.
Any last words?
Austin?
I am Tusk!
All
right, let's leave.
Did you know?
Mm-hmm.
I am Tusk.
Oh, plot twist. Leon?
We're all Tusk.
In some ways, yeah.
Oh, that's the man who brings us all together.
Now that your rose is in bloom,